Hey, what's going on? It is Watsky Wednesday, and the day is May 13th. I'm going to quickly just make this Twitter link live. Let's get going. Cool. All right, so we're waiting for people to join right now. It is 8 p.m. on the West Coast. I'm in Los Angeles, California. I just got back from my 10-year high school reunion. As weird as that sounds, I graduated high school in 2005. How fucking bizarre is that? And I was up in San Francisco visiting my family and hanging out with my friends. I was there for about 5 days, and now I am back in Los Angeles for a little while. I have Soundset in Minneapolis coming up at the end of the month and another show in Alaska, and I've got an announcement to make about a few summer shows, but I'm going to wait until a couple more people get into the group. Hey, Bob Johanna says, hey, George, what up, Bob? How you doing? Question selected. So yeah, for those of you who are watching, you can type your questions into the Q&A bar on the side. I'll answer them as best I can or evade them. They seem too cutting to me, but no, I'll do my best to answer any questions. So feel free to ask whatever you want, make a statement, pose a riddle, some impossible question, sound of one hand clapping, and I'll be here for probably at least half an hour. Just checking Twitter. Okay. Like I said, guys, question bar on the side. Go for it. So far, the only question that's been asked so far is, hey, George, from Bob Johanna. Not technically a question. Oh, a bunch of questions just showed up. Okay, cool. Oh, Bob Johanna responded to my statement of what's going on, and Bob said, not much, just chilling. I got cats in both arms. Sounds like a good way to be. I'm jealous. I got cats in no arms. Courtney says, how was the scrapbook I gave you at Warped treating you? I don't think I have it here. I think it's in my storage unit in LA, but really good. Thank you for doing that, Courtney. That was really awesome. And yeah, I have most of my shit actually in my storage unit, and it's between downtown and kind of in between Echo Park downtown and Koreatown on Beverly. Most of my stuff's there, and I'm just subletting this place where I'm at right now in Silver Lake because I haven't said anything about this yet, but I'm doing a run of about 3.5 weeks this summer. Between July and August, I'll be playing some club shows throughout the United States and Canada, where I haven't really done any club shows at all. So for those of you guys in Canada, that actually answers Pat G54's question too of when's the next tour. I'm not going to do another big like monster 7-month tour like I did for All You Can Do until the next project comes out, but I'm playing about a month-long run this summer, July and August. Some cities in the US, some cities in Canada, mostly not the cities that I played in mostly not the cities that I played on the All You Can Do tour, but some that are nearby. And I'll be announcing that, within the next week and a half. Love versus reality. Do you say the things that fans give you? Yeah, I do, with like only really, really rare exceptions. And for the most part, I got everything split between my San Francisco house and my storage unit. I have a couple big boxes of letters, and I have like bigger gifts, some sculptures that people have given me. I got from Sudisha, who came from South Africa to my India shows. She gave me a big South African flag and had it signed by a bunch of people from the country, which was amazing. And I keep everything because I feel like at some point, regardless of what happens, I'm going to be older and I'm going to be able to look back on these things and cherish them and feel like, and probably be shocked by the fact that so many people showed up, so many people cared. And it's like a relic. It's proof that this existed, that this connection was there. And so I try not to throw anything out at all. And if I have done it, it's only been because I'm like overseas and it's literally something that can't fit in my bag, if it's like a big poster board or something that can't be folded. But other than that, I keep everything. Next question. Hypothermic Ice says, what do you do when you don't have anything to do? I always have something to do. Create things to do. I'm never not busy because I have a lot of friends in LA that I want to see, and I have family that I want to be talking to, and projects that I'm way behind on, and a million things I'm procrastinating on. So if I'm not doing anything, it's because I'm procrastinating on something that I'm supposed to be doing. So I haven't felt that feeling of just absolute boredom where I just have no idea. Like, I haven't been bored since high school, or before that or something, because I have a big list of things, like I said, that I've promised myself that I want to be doing. So boredom doesn't really exist for me. There's just not enough time to do the shit that I want to do. Addie Franklin says, I've been diagnosed with epilepsy for a year, and I've been on Keppra ever since. I want to be off it, but I'm terrified of getting hurt during another seizure. Any advice? That's really dangerous for me to give you advice, because I'm not your neurologist, and I don't know the details of your situation. I don't know how frequent your seizures are. I don't know all the mitigating factors for what kind of condition you have. I can say that I have been on Keppra, and I've been on it for an extended period of time while I was touring actually this year, and I hated Keppra. And I switched over to a drug called Dilantin, which, just from my personal experience right now, doesn't seem to have the mental side effects that Keppra did. Keppra really made me feel lethargic. It made me feel slow. It fucked with my memory. And that's just a personal experience. Every drug affects everybody differently, but I didn't like Keppra. I didn't react well to it, and so I transitioned on to Dilantin, which has its own side effects. And it can affect your balance, it can affect your gum health and your tooth health, and all of it. It can be better or worse for different people. Before that, I was on a different drug called Depakote when I was in middle school, and then I got off it. And I was off of medication for about 14 years, and my goal is to be off it again. I can't, like Addie, I don't know, for you personally, it's always a trade-off between risks that you want to take with your health and the amount that you don't want to be on medication. For me, I have a very high desire to not be on medication, so I'm willing to take some personal risks with my health. With epilepsy, you have no idea when you may or may not get another seizure, so it's all speculation regardless, but all I can say is don't quit cold turkey, and don't do it without anybody's advice. Don't do it without the blessing of at least some medical professional that you've gotten a second opinion from. Don't just go rogue and stop taking your medication, particularly because specifically with anticonvulsants, if you don't taper off it gradually, you're going to actually increase the chances that you have another seizure, and that's happened to me too. You can't have a shock to your bloodstream with an amount of medication like that. You need to do it slowly if you're going to taper off it at all, so that your body doesn't have a violent reaction to you quitting cold turkey. Basically going into a kind of withdrawal for the medication, which could lead to another seizure. So if you're going to do it, if you're going to want to get off the medication, that's a lot of times that's where my head's at, is to get off it, so you don't have to worry about the side effects and having this pretty gnarly drug pumped in you, but do it with the blessing and under the guidance of a neurologist. And if the first one doesn't tell you to get off it, at least seek second and third opinions and talk to your parents about it. Okay, Alyssa says, this is kind of a strange question, but a lot of people look up to you, including myself, and I was wondering if that puts a lot of pressure on you. Thank you for saying that, and it's kind of a tough one. Yeah, I feel pressure in some ways. Less so now than I did about a year ago. Just generally in life, I feel a lot more relaxed, and I feel pressure to live up to the people who like my work, but if anything, I feel pressure to succeed for the sake of my band and the people who work on my behalf. I want to do well for my fans, but But for them, my goal is to just put out art and put out art that I think is good. And I'm not worried that I'm going to have a creative spark and that I'm going to be able to come up with stuff that I'm interested in to continue writing. That's never been the problem for me. I guess the main thing that puts pressure on me is to make positive choices, which I haven't always done, to try and be a good role model. But when I've made mistakes, I've tried to react to them in a mature way. But man, the thing that I feel most pressured on is like for my band, from the people that make my music videos. You know, there's like a huge network of people who I'm friends with who have in many ways like bent or morphed their life to be a part of what I do. If they're filmmakers or musicians, and I feel pressure to succeed on their behalf, because they basically said like let's go along for this ride, and if I just give up and say fuck off and just decide I don't feel like it anymore, then that's quitting. It's not me personally quitting and making a choice for myself, it's making a choice for all the people that I collaborate with. So that's my biggest drive to, you know, like keep momentum going at all times, because there's people whose rent literally depends on it. Garrett says, what's your relationship status with your twin brother, or is that something you choose not to talk about publicly? I'm sorry if this is inappropriate. I do choose not to talk about it publicly because he doesn't want me to. And so I'm not going to address it really any further than that. I love him. I love my brother. I wish we did have a closer relationship, but that's something that you can't pick all the time. And I'm not gonna go into it any further out of respect for him. So yeah, that's the deal. But you know, it's not that it's off limits and that it's inappropriate for you to ask it, but that's the way that I try to approach talking about that when people do. It's Just Chris says, you got any advice for a kid about to start the next chapter in life? In my case, college. Let's see, college. You're starting college. I got the corny advice, which is like throw yourself out there and try not to just fall back into what's comfortable. Something that people say in acting class a lot is be comfortable making yourself uncomfortable. Put yourself into weird positions and meet friends who you normally wouldn't think are your friend groups, and I don't know, like drink responsibly, but don't be afraid to have adventures, and be responsible, but don't be so responsible you don't have any fun. Like if you're going there for a specific subject that you're really passionate about. One piece of advice I got for college is college to me, the way that I took college is trying to learn skills that are going to be relevant for the rest of my life. So instead of trying to, at that point when I started college, I was really lucky because I knew I wanted to go into the performing arts. So it was helpful for me to be able to pick out a college that I knew was going to provide me those skills. Almost like DeVry or ITT Tech for an actor. Instead of me going in and having to take a whole bunch of requirement classes that I'd already touched on in high school, college for me was about learning relevant skills, not for spending like $35,000 to party for 4 years. I got to party for 4 years, but on top of that, I also got an education that was relevant to me. So that's just how I did college. I had a really good time. I went to Emerson in Boston. Lions represent. And that's pretty much it. Have fun, man. Don't stress yourself out so much that you don't actually enjoy those 4 years, because they're gonna be gone really fucking quick. Will you ever get a Snapchat? I want to send you all the rad Snapchats of my cats. They're hella fat. I don't think so. What do you guys think? Is Snapchat like a trend that's going to fall off, or is it something that's going to continue going? Because despite the fact that I've used the internet to my benefit for my work, I'm not an early adopter when it comes to technologies. It took me forever to get a Twitter. I'm a fucking curmudgeon. Like I would love to avoid new social media if I can, because I spend a lot of time online already, and I like actually talking to people in real life and not having my phone out all the time. I would love to see your cat. So I'm gonna say like probably not, but maybe you can mail me a picture of your cat or bring your cat to the next show, and then I'll know how fat they are. You never rule anything out. Maybe I'll get a Snapchat, but for now, no. I don't want to be getting in any weird hot water that these other YouTubers have with people. You know, like send your naked pictures to somebody else. I have people that I already know from high school for that, and I don't, you know, I'm gonna leave that for someone else. Ben Coeting. Sorry if I fucked your name up. Asked if I've ever thought about making music in another genre. Yeah. Well, it's tough to say because I'm kind of hemmed in by what I like to do and what I think I'm good at, which is lyrics, and I'm not a particularly good singer, although I try to sing hooks when I can. But I don't think my skill sets me apart enough to make that what I do as a main thing. Like, I'm not going to put out a ballad record unless it's a joke one, because my voice just isn't good enough. I'm also not a good enough songwriter and composer quarterly to be able to just do an instrumental album, although I love playing jazz music. So what I do when I do rap music is try and do rap music that has a basis in other genres. For instance, if you haven't gotten my old projects, I put out a bluegrass hip hop project called Watsky Wednesday that's for free on my Bandcamp, gwatsky.bandcamp.com, and you can get that one. And that's something I love to do. I put out a jazz hip hop record called Invisible Ink with my band Invisible Ink back in 2007. So I have a jazz project, I have a bluegrass hip hop project. All You Can Do was my attempt to sort of do a hip hop record that had some rock influences to it, psychedelic rock influences, sort of like you can see that on Cannonball, and a few other tracks on the record that really lean that direction. But all the songs on that one, it's like live drums and guitar and stuff like that. And my next record, I'm sure, will be different too. So I love so many different genres of music. I'm constantly exploring, but it's generally like it's a hip hop hybrid with another type of music, not like me going out and doing a ragtime record purely, although I fucking wish I could. Cassidy would like to know, what was my favorite city that I played on tour? And I'm always going to answer San Francisco because that's my hometown. Outside of that, I love playing Boston. That's where I went to college. I love playing Chicago. I love playing New York City. It's just, you know, you can't argue with New York. The whole Pacific Northwest is great. I don't know, like once I start doing this, I'm going to start listing off so many cities that it's going to sound like I didn't answer the question honestly. So I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to add London to that list, despite the fact that my stage dive fiasco occurred there. When I played club shows, London is always an amazing crowd. Let's see. Scrolling down for questions. Sarah Lanning wants to know, how's my love life? It's good and more existent than it has been in years. I met somebody recently that I really care about a lot and love, and I hadn't had a girlfriend for like 9 years until recently, and it's tough right now because the distance is a factor. I'm in a bit of a place where I don't know what quite to do. But I will say that I met somebody pretty recently that makes me really happy, and that I have more of a love life outside of just weird one night random things than I have in a long time, and that's been making me really, really, really happy. And just it's weird because like I'm such a hard worker generally, and I've avoided getting into romantic situations because I want my career to be the priority, but for better or worse, and you get into these things and you say like, man, career does not fucking matter that much at the end of the day. What matters is the people in your life who make you happy. And I'm going to try to make sure that doesn't make me work less hard than I do. But it's been really great. I'm not going to say any more about that because it's not fucking TMZ, all right? Not a goddamn tabloid here. Let's see. Unity Pyro says Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata to you, my friend. I would sing the rest of the song, but I can't remember it. Means no worries for the rest of our days. It's that problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata. Ta-ta-ta. It's our problem-free philosophy. It's our problem-free. How many cats do you have? Asks Deaf Nightfall / Unity League. No cats. I have no cats. Moving on. Olivia Cuncio says, also, I've always wanted to tell you that the first time I ever got high was to Cardboard Castle, so thanks for that. You're welcome. I hope you had a positive experience. You know, fuck yeah, I'm glad. If it was a good experience, I hope you didn't have a bad trip. If you had a good time and you look fondly back on that memory, then I'm proud to have been a part of it. I hope you weren't listening to The Legend of Hardhead Ned. That would have been pretty fucking weird. Jacob Wayman says, who's your favorite rapper other than yourself, of course? Andre 3000. Mr. Flamemore says, trolls are tryhards. What do you mean? Like, is that, which do I dislike more? Trolls are people who are suck-ups? Probably I dislike suck-ups more. Trolls are just annoying, but they're trying to be funny. I think the most annoying thing is when you don't know a troll as being a troll. Yeah, I'd rather, if that's the question you're asking me, if you're asking me, do I prefer people who are trolling me or people who suck up to me, then I prefer trolls to people who suck up. Yes, man. No bueno. Then you don't know where you stand. You need people who can tell you the truth. Ryan C says, what was it like working with Carmen? It was pretty fun. It was cool. They're very talented. The woman from Carmen is an amazing vocalist, and it was pretty cool. Good experience. Love versus Reality says, I've been wondering this for the past 2 years, but I feel like, but do you like 21 Pilots? I feel like you guys would be best friends. I like the music of theirs that I've heard, and I like that they are doing, incorporating some poetry and depth of lyrics, and they have a cool setup to their stuff. And from what I've seen of their live shows, they're really incredible. I haven't been to one live, but there seems to be a pretty fair amount of crossover between our fan bases. So who knows? Who knows if we'll cross paths down the line. Would love to meet the guys, but I haven't yet. So you never know. Dig what I heard so far. Jacqueline Brockhouse says, what did you do in the lowest of your life? How did you bounce back to get your life back on track? Well, this year has been the hardest year of my life. And now I feel like I'm over the hump. I feel great right now, and I feel free, and I feel like I got a second chance to like start over with the world not hating me for that stage dive to happen. And I was in London for 3 months dealing with that, and I didn't know how it was going to go. Well, this was recently. Like, I got back 3 weeks ago from that, and maybe less, 2 weeks. And that was the culmination of a year and a half of turmoil for myself, and also for the people who were affected by it, people who were injured. And I really blame myself a lot for it, and it was tough. And all you can do is my attempt to make a record that came out of that, and to say that I'm in a low place right now, and I'm not going to stop making music, because even when you're hurting, you have something to say about the fact that you're hurting. And that's life. Like, I think that, Jacqueline, I don't know how old you are, you'll probably find is that the more your life goes on, the more you're going to have highs that are followed by lows, that are followed by highs, that are followed by lows. And you don't just get to a place where you're happy and then that's that. Like, it's just a constant roller coaster. So I think the thing to realize is that things even out. And if you're feeling shitty right now, the best thing that someone can say to you is you can't fall off the floor. If you're feeling bad, then at least you have up to go from here. And eventually things are going to start improving. So just, let yourself feel sadness when you feel sadness. You don't have to pretend it's not there. And that will make you stronger. It'll make you more empathetic. If you've been through shit, then you can relate to other people who have been through shit. If you never go through anything and you're happy your whole life, you can't relate to anybody except for people who are always happy. And who the fuck is always happy except for liars? So I just keep on moving. And then the flip side of that is eventually you're going to have moments where you're really happy, and eventually that'll end too. Because every good or bad thing does at some point. Mr. Flamemore, who I believe already answered you, but why not? Let's go around again. Will using your music on YouTube get me a copyright notice? It depends if you use a mixtape project or one of my last 2 albums. And unfortunately, I think that if you use All You Can Do or Cardboard Castles, it goes into an automated system from the Universal Music Group that will flag your thing. And in fact, my own music videos get flagged by Universal Music when I'm putting them up, because I own my own YouTube channel, but they have all of my songs in a database that flags things from Universal. They're like the overall distributor of the small mom and pop label that I put those 2 albums out on. And that sucks, because if you were to ask my permission individually, I wouldn't care at all. So all I can say is you have my blessing to try. And if you do get a copyright notice, it's not me sitting at a computer trying to bust you on it. It's just some bullshit from the automated system. So sorry about that, but give it a try anyway. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata for the rest of our days. It's our problem-free. Haley says, would you rather, serious question time, if you had to choose, would you rather age from the neck up or the neck down for the rest of your life? So wait, one part of me is immortal and the rest of me is aging. I might at that point, like, I don't think that's like the Tuck Everlasting question. I don't know if I'd want to live forever with that kind of restriction on myself, because then I'm either with this like super fit body, and I'm assuming from the neck up includes my brain. So at some point I'm gonna be senile with this like Adonis figure running around. Assuming I hit the gym with the passion that I'm expecting to in the next year, or I age from the neck down and I'm like this matinee idol with this I got this baby face until I'm 95, and I'm just this frail, weak dude. I guess I'd rather age from the neck down, because then I get to be smart until my like organs fail, and I'll die because of kidney failure or like a heart attack or something. But I'll get to look young and have my faculties until I'm dead. So that's what I'm gonna say. I'd rather age from the neck down. Guys get to be like sexually functional for a long time, even until they're like 80 or 90. So that wouldn't really have to worry about that too much. And you know, worst case scenario, you just buy a wooden pickle for your wife and no harm, no foul. So yeah, I'm gonna go with neck down. What was the favorite song that I was a part of or made? Favorite song that I was a part of or made? It's a tough one. I'm really proud of Cannonball. The answer to this question changes every time somebody asks me. I'm proud of Tiny Glowing Screens Part 2. Yeah, I'll just say those for now. But you ask me again and the answer is going to change. I'm going to ask before this blows up with questions, any word on the live album? Yes, Bob, it's done. It's mastered. I'm going to announce when it's coming out. Sometime next week, I'll have a release date, and it'll be late May. It'll be last week of May, first week of June. Promise you. I think it sounds good. You guys want to hear a sample from the live album? Let's do that. Let me play a live album sample, and just be aware that it's going to be coming from my speakers into your speakers, and so it's going to lose a lot of audio quality, and it's going to sound really tinny. But with that in mind, this is one of the tracks from the live album. His moral of the story from the Regency.
Hands up! Right till my fingers look like a bouquet of roses. You gotta bring yourself your flowers now and show this. Focus is right, you coyote, come on, let's go. Kiss. Everybody gets together with the study buddy, gonna take up the fuck to the dog. Yeah, because it's so good. And it's gross. But a lot of people don't. They don't ever get them up. If you gotta move, you gotta hold up to it. If I ain't having, I would ask you where the road is. Work is for churches, all the studios, the closest. I spit a sickness on my coolie flows the closest. Don't be so vicious, be focused on your own shit, cause we super California-listic, sexy, and we know. You're not my bitch, coming in my morning, gotta talk about bitch. You can never take a pop, but I think that I'm gonna have another can of Popeye spinach. So that one, not my color when I park my foot. You on my nerves, mark my words, get up and think about the bark bar. Turn, one, and open one, the movement one, so we one, the movement one, so we one, in the movement so we work until the black and yellow, black and yellow work for please. I just work until the black and blue and burn. First, work until I earn and reach my high. Honestly, can't you tell I work the pitch for five? Show some minds, it's the watcher. Pictures anybody can look like it's not the time.
All right, enough for now. Unity Pyro says, what's my favorite movie? I don't have a favorite movie, but I have lots of favorite movies. So I'm going to say the first favorite movie that jumps to my mind, two of them, Children of Men and Pan's Labyrinth. I love those two. Travelog says, how many people call you George, or does everyone call you Watsky? A lot of people call me George, and a lot of people call me Watsky. Yeah, both. I'm trying to think of other nicknames that people have called me through the years, but mostly people, even friends in high school, they like gravitate towards my last name. So I have friends who call me Watsky. I have followers who call me George. And I don't really have a lot of other nicknames. Alyssa says, what do you think is too far when it comes to fans showing their love for you? I don't know. I would say if you're going to get a tattoo, you better know you want it. Like, it's easy to regret a tattoo later in life. So that's one thing. You better like really, really swear up and down if you're going to get a tattoo that you're in for that tattoo. And the other thing is that I'm not interested in hooking up with fans, and I've done it, I will admit, maybe 3 times in my years on the road, and I've been on the road for a long time. I rarely do it. Every time I've done it, I've regretted it. I don't think it's a good thing to blur that relationship between fans and you know, romantic partners, because the people who follow your work know you in one context and they put you on a pedestal, and it can be really unhealthy that way, because I got problems. Everyone's got problems, and that's the one thing I'll say. Like, that's not a line I'm even at this point, knowing that I've done that in the past very infrequently compared to a lot of other artists, and that it's never worked out in a way that's been copacetic for both parties. Just, you know, you don't even feel like you have to try, because that's not my MO. And that's to be making a broad assumption that anyone out there would want to. So, you know, you're welcome to assume that was a very cocky thing to even suggest. What is the silliest, stupid thing you've ever said into a mic at a performance? I don't know. I say stupid shit all the time. I'm trying to rack my brain for something that I've said unintentionally that was really embarrassing. I'm sure I've done it. I've regretted things on stage before. The thing is, I heard the guy from AWOL Nation say this the other day too, and it's something I really agree with. When things go wrong on stage, it's a good thing. When unexpected, unless you hurt someone, that's not a good thing. But if something unexpected happens, if something weird happens that takes the show into a direction that feels organic, because when you're playing on a tour, you're doing the same show over and over and over and over again. You have the same transitions, you're playing the same songs, you're trying to make things feel new and fresh. And so when silly stuff happens, that's a great opportunity to make the show special, and to allow yourself to like really have fun. So I can't think off the top of my head of what the answer to that is, but a lot of time, you know, like if my pants rip on stage, that happened in Colorado one time, and I just ripped my pants all the way off. Like, there's a picture of me with like my tattered khakis. I think I played the last like 3 songs of the show with like my boxers and tattered pants. You know, things like getting thrown onto the stage, as long as they're not bottles that hit us, we can always play around with that. When people throw like articles of clothing, like tie-dye shirts and stuff, I'll like often put them on during sloppy seconds. Or let's see what else. One time there was this little kid named George at our Chicago show who was like this little 5-year-old who was standing on the side of the stage, and his mom put him there because it wasn't safe for him in the audience. He just came up and like danced during I Don't Give a Fuck at the end of one of the Chicago shows, and that was awesome. And yeah. Answer a couple more. Nathan Chanthamontry says, would you ever smoke with your fans? I really want to meet you at Soundset in Minnesota at the end of May. Yeah, I would. As long as you're not under 18, I would smoke weed with you. But be aware, like I don't smoke after most shows. Like, I party after, like if I'm on a big tour, I'm gonna be partying after maybe 2 out of 6 shows a week, because it's such a grind that that I'm trying to get to bed and get up and have energy to stay on the road. But if it's a Friday or Saturday night, or we just don't have a show the next day, I wouldn't rule it out. But don't get your hopes up and feel like I'll let you down if I'm not getting fucked up, because I like smoking, but I'm not a stoner. I do it occasionally, and I dig it, and I partly dig it because I only do it occasionally. So maybe, but it doesn't always work out with the schedule. But I wouldn't rule it out. I have smoked with fans before, and it's awesome. People bring me free weed. That's like, what a perk. It's amazing. Do I actually hate hipsters? I don't even know what hipster means anymore. I know I made a song called "Kill a Hipster," and that concept means something in the context of the song, but I live in Silver Lake. I lived in Los Feliz before. These are like the most hipster neighborhoods in the world. So by some people's definition, I'm a hipster. And in my song, I refer to myself as one. And I think the hipster trend is going out of style. But there's what I don't like. I don't hate anyone, but what I don't like is the idea of like being cool just by knowing more obscure things than somebody else. Like, as soon as something becomes popular, it's not cool to like it anymore. And the obscurity of your choices defining like how savvy you are, I think that's whack. Because cool stuff gets popular too. And then what? You're not into it anymore because other people have discovered your little secret. That's one thing I truly dislike. The song is about gentrification, the song "Kill a Hipster." So I don't like the fact that exists, that we live in a world where people can get priced out of the housing market like that. But at the same time, I'm a gentrifier, and that's what I said at the end of the song too. So that song's like, if you listen to the third verse of "Kill a Hipster," pretty much the whole song is about calling myself out on those things when I see them in the mirror. And like, that's actually, a lot of Cardboard Castles works that way. It's like the first half of the song is me calling out something that I don't like, but then the second half of the song is me taking personal responsibility for being a part of that trend that I don't like. For instance, "Hey Asshole," the first, it's about examining whether you have a justification for depression and calling out people who are depressed even when it's a beautiful day outside, and then calling myself out for feeling that same way in the second half of the chorus. And on Tiny Glowing Screens Part 2, it's pretty much the exact same formula. The first part of the song is directed at a group of nameless people who are focused on feeling like they matter in a vast, uncountable sea of people. And the second half is taking myself to task for that same thing. I have a climate change poem that works the exact same way. That's about all the irresponsible things we do that are affecting the climate. And then the second half of it is about how I'm in fact participating in all those things. So that's a big part of my work, is calling out the things that I don't like in the world, but also recognizing that I'm not immune from causing those problems too. And hipsters fall into that category, specifically with that song. Natalie Ruiz says, "How do you feel about your fame?" I've never felt famous. That sounds like a corny thing to say, maybe, but it's true. I feel like my level of celebrity is so B-list or C-list that how could I possibly start getting cocky about it? For a lot of reasons. One, I have a lot of friends who I believe are more talented than I am, but maybe don't have the work ethic and haven't caught the breaks that I have. And I'm intimidated by their talent. And tangible success is not the only thing that I'm impressed by. It's actually one of the least things that I'm impressed by. So having people who like my shit doesn't mean that I'm respected by my peers as a musician. And that's something that I really want and crave, to people to know that I'm trying to make art. I'm not just trying to be a pop artist. I want my work be more than that. And so being famous, being like having fans is an amazing experience because it means that I'm connecting with people. And one thing I will say about being a pop artist that I do like and that I actively go for is I believe that art is best if it's a conversation between yourself and your audience, as opposed to like journaling where you're just writing for the sake of yourself as sort of a therapy process. I want to make work where people stand back and say like, wow, that I related to that. Either I agreed with you or I disagreed with you, or it made me feel something. It made me react. And so I'm always looking for ways to have an engagement with the people who follow my work, and having fans is proof that my work is engaging people. And so that's an amazing validation of the years that I've put into doing this, and to have people come up and say that it's changed the way that they felt about the world or the trajectory in their life is humbling and gratifying. And no matter what the fuck happens in the rest of my career, I can always hold on to that as a success. I'm gonna die feeling like a success no matter what happens. But at the same time, the other thing is I fail so much. I have so many humbling, embarrassing, humiliating experiences that still happen that are like mixed in with the great successes that you can't get too high on your own ego. It's just impossible to like even artists that you think are more famous than I am, you hit duds of shows where nobody shows up just because you're not booked in the right place, or it wasn't well promoted, or any number of reasons, or got rained out or something, or you perform badly and you don't remember that you used to be a good performer, or somebody says something horrible or true to you that hurts your feelings. And so you hit duds of shows, you have albums and projects that don't do as well as your previous one. Like, I don't know, and even the Beatles, after they had their peak of success, you go downhill, and if there's a roller coaster. And for me, the roller coaster is not like the Beatles roller coaster, but I have high moments, I have low moments, and the low moments remind you that, your shit doesn't smell like roses. Artists that think that it does, I think are insecure. And this idea of being the greatest of all time has always felt like bullshit to me. This is the highest rated one right now. Can I do some freestyle for you? Potentially, yeah, okay. I'll end with a freestyle. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Not the best freestyler in the world. But let me see if I can go on YouTube and find a good instrumental. Here I am in my bedroom. Want to get high, give myself a little headroom. I'm about to put my feet up. Right now, I have some leg room. Keep my feet up if the world is my ottoman. Much love to my mama, man, and my papa, man. We only got like one more year of this Obama, man, or maybe two more. And then will it be Hillary? I don't really know, cause will it be someone else? Another Republican? I don't really know, but another man. Man, I hope it's a woman, because we had a lot of dudes, what, like 43, 42, 44? Why we need another more? Yo, that's why I think that I gotta think back on the things I did as a kid, man. I was growing up in San Francisco, and it goes slow when it goes over your head, though. It was foggy in the bay. Now I really know what a froggy's gonna say, cause I got a frog in my throat and I gotta spit it out, man. What you all about, man? I don't gotta doubt, man. I got like 17, I got like 99 problems and it's never clean. It's always dirty, cause I never clean it up all the way. But you really know, cause I'm all from the Bay, and the Warriors game is probably on right now, and I should probably check that score right now, cause Curry's probably hitting mad shots right now, and I just really want to know about that now, cause Curry from the three-point, he better hurry, man, and I know that every man want to do that, man, every man want to be an athlete, but me, I was a little more a mathlete, winning that science Olympiad. And my flow's suffering because I'm going on to Yahoo Sports at the moment, clicking these keys just like I was a yeoman, just going all over these keys. And now I'm seeing that Golden State's up like 7 at the half, like 9 at the half. Man, you do the math. That's 49-41 over the Grizzlies. Sorry if you're listening to Memphis. Forgive me, man. I'm really sorry, but I just got a root from a team, man. Like it's Atari, like we're just playing this. Because you know this game is going to be over, man, it's away. And not every day. Can I freestyle this way? No way. Wear a toupee? Never. My hair is so damn thick and I'm so damn clever. It's like it is steel wool. Because that's the label that I represent and everybody know I got to feel this. Door just opened on its own. That's what Hypotherma said in the comments, man. I'm in the zone. But I know that I'm gonna spit a poem. Gotta pick a bone for these people, and I know that I'm on. I think I've been freestyling like 3 minutes, but I'm gonna get off in a moment. Got a fucking omen. The fucking Romans and the Greeks, all them like buried under the streets, in the sewers, under the manure. Man, you are the greatest. And I'm like second greatest, the latest. What a mediocre freestyle. Me? Smile? Yeah, okay. Bing! Everybody knows that I am the king. When I strut down the street, I don't eat meat. When I fuck a line, I'm gonna repeat. When I fuck a line, I'm gonna repeat. See what I did there, man, just see. I fucked up a line, repeated that shit. That was so smart, man. Oh my God, this kid is ridiculous. I got pickle chips in the bag, I'm eating them shits. Maybe some smart food, maybe some chips, maybe some chips and cheese if I'm in London. Maybe a Cadbury flake, man, come on son. I'm gonna eat mad snacks and be out. Cause everybody knows I put snacks in my mouth. I eat fucking snacks in the north and the south and the west and the east. And repeat, I'm the least of your problems. Man, your problems are mortality. Man, your problems are finality. Man, our problems are problems, that's banality. And it sucks, man. I eat calories, I eat Mallory's, Valerie's. I go down on girls, man, my salary. I get paid to go down on girls. That's my trade, that's a lie, man. I'm not like a prostitute. I'm not, man, a frosty cream, a Krispy Kreme. You know what I mean, but you don't, because what I said, it doesn't make sense. And I better repent, because I said some stuff about oral sex just now, but I guess that's okay, because what's how a lot of dudes don't go down on their women, and that kind of sucks, man. If they forgive them, I think that they shouldn't, because it should all be reciprocal, man. I think that a little bit of bull is okay, but you shouldn't probably lie. White lies are okay, but man, sipping Mai Tai is what I was doing in the Dominican a week ago, and then I just freak a girl. Just freak a girl. All right. Sorry, I got a little distracted by the Warriors game, and that was don't send that freestyle to grind time. That's that was pretty intensely mediocre. Okay, I'm gonna answer 2 more questions and I'll be out. If you were in the zombie apocalypse and you could take 2 people, who would they be? Mom and dad. Do not need to think twice about that one. Not saying that they would be the best people to fight a zombie apocalypse with. No offense, my dad's was in his 70s, but gotta go with family. Amanda De Lucia says, still better than Iggy, referring to my freestyle. Hey, thank you. Set the bar low and jump over it. Okay, I'm gonna answer one more question and then be out, so I'm looking for a good one. This is the most boring part of the whole thing, is me trying to find a good question. They're all good. JFC, you are so attractive. I don't know what JFC means. So I'm going to assume that it means just fucking kidding, with kidding spelled with a C. Okay, I like this question. What has been the weirdest way that your last name has been pronounced? Well, this is going to not answer the question exactly, but my nickname on the All You Can Do tour became Torridge because we went to Starbucks, and the dude wrote on my Starbucks cup Torridge. Well, I said my name was George, not George, but he wrote Torage on the cup, and so everyone called me Torridge for like 3 months. Anyway, that's Watsky Wednesday. I think I said this before you guys all got on at the beginning, but I'm playing 3.5 weeks of shows from the late July into the middle of August. So I'm doing a little tour this summer. I'll be announcing it pretty soon. It's gonna be great. Bringing the band, mostly hitting places that I didn't go on the All You Can Do tour, and also running across Canada for the first time. So Canadians, I know, like, some Canadians have been asking about that for a while. So I'm finally playing the Canadian cities that I haven't played before this summer. That's it. All right. Peace, guys. I'll try to see you next week.